Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, TJ Comments and Answers. I hope all of you are doing well. In this video, we're going to prepare for the congregation book study, from the book Learn from the Bible, for the week of November 10th to 16th. This week we'll be studying lessons 34 and 35. Let's begin. Lesson 34, Gideon defeats the Midianites. Question 1. How did Jehovah show Gideon that he had chosen him? Jehovah showed Gideon that he had chosen him by fulfilling two signs with the fleece and the dew, just as Gideon requested, confirming his choice and his support. Additional comments. Judges 6:36-38 recounts how Jehovah responded to the first sign Gideon asked for: the fleece became wet while the ground remained dry. Through this miraculous event, God strengthened Gideon's faith and proved that his calling was not a product of imagination but a mission backed by divine power. According to Judges 6:39-40, the second sign was fulfilled when the fleece remained dry and the ground was covered with dew. Although Gideon asked for additional confirmation, Jehovah responded with patience and understanding. This teaches us that God does not reject those who sincerely seek His guidance but gives them the assurance to act with confidence. Additional comments. In Judges 6:14-16, Jehovah assured Gideon, "I will be with you, and you will strike down Midian as if they were one man." These words reminded him that success did not depend on his position or strength, but on God's presence. True confidence comes from trusting in Jehovah's promises, not in circumstances. The principle in 2 Corinthians 4:7 confirms this lesson, saying that, "the power beyond what is normal comes from God and not from us." Just as Gideon understood that he had no merit of his own, Jehovah's servants today also recognize that any spiritual achievement is the result of divine power, not human effort. Question 2. Why did Gideon's army have only 300 men? Jehovah reduced the army to only 300 men so that Israel would understand that the victory did not depend on military strength but on God's support. Additional comments. In Judges 7:2, Jehovah explained that the people were too numerous and that if they won, they might take the credit themselves. By reducing the army, God taught that victory should not feed human pride. He wanted Israel to recognize that it was His power, not the army's strength, that brought triumph. Judges 7:5-7 recounts how Jehovah tested the men at the stream, and only 300 showed alertness while drinking. This selection revealed that God values vigilance and obedience more than numbers. He chooses those who stay spiritually awake, ready to act in faith when He directs. Additional comments. According to Judges 7:19-22, when Gideon and his 300 men blew their horns, broke their jars, and shouted, Jehovah caused panic among the Midianites until they turned their swords against each other. This scene shows that success did not depend on human strategy but on God's guidance and power. The text in 2 Corinthians 4 7 is clearly reflected in this event. The power beyond what is normal comes from God and not from us. Gideon and his men were humble instruments through whom Jehovah demonstrated that true victory comes from trusting him, even when circumstances seem impossible. Lesson 35. Hannah asks Jehovah for a son. Question 1. Why was Hannah so sad? Hannah was very sad because she could not have children, and Peninnah constantly made fun of her, making her feel humiliated and alone. Additional comments. 1 Samuel 1:2 explains that Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. In Israelite culture at that time, infertility was seen as a disgrace, which deepened her pain. Hannah not only faced the sadness of not being a mother but also constant comparison within her own household. According to 1 Samuel 1:6-7, Peninnah kept provoking her to irritate her. This detail shows the depth of Hannah's emotional suffering. Though her anguish was great, she did not respond with hatred or vengeance. Instead, she sought refuge in Jehovah, showing deep and exemplary faith. Additional comments. 1 Samuel 1:10 says that Hannah prayed to Jehovah with deep anguish and wept bitterly. Instead of giving up, she turned her sadness into a heartfelt prayer. This teaches us that opening our hearts to God in times of distress is the first step to finding real comfort. The principle in Matthew 7:7, keep on asking, and it will be given to you, harmonizes with Hannah's attitude. She never stopped asking or trusting. Her sadness did not drive her away from God but moved her to strengthen her faith, convinced that Jehovah listens and responds at the right time. Question 2. What blessing did Jehovah give Hannah? Jehovah blessed Hannah with a son named Samuel, whom she dedicated to serve him all his life, and later he gave her 5 more children. Additional comments. 1 Samuel 1:20 relates that Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked Jehovah for him." This verse shows that Jehovah listened to her prayer. The divine response proved that God does not forget the sincere petitions of those who seek him in faith. According to 1 Samuel 1:27-28, when Hannah brought Samuel to the tabernacle, she said, "I prayed for this boy, and Jehovah has granted me what I asked of him." With gratitude, she fulfilled her promise and dedicated him to divine service. Her example teaches the importance of keeping vows made to God, especially those based on love and gratitude. Additional comments. 1 Samuel 2:20-21 highlights that Jehovah blessed Hannah with 3 more sons and 2 daughters. Her faithfulness was richly rewarded. This shows that God not only answers our prayers but can give us far more than we ask when we act with a sincere heart. Matthew 7:7 reinforces this principle by saying, "Keep on asking, and it will be given to you." Hannah is a clear example of that fulfilled promise. She asked with faith, waited patiently, and was blessed beyond what she imagined, showing that persevering prayers are never in vain before Jehovah. Well, These have been the practical answers for this week's congregation book study. I hope they are very helpful to you, my dear brothers and sisters. I send you a big hug, and may Jehovah bless and protect you always.